Thank you, Shletty, for the introduction. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you're watching or listening. This is the Tech Talk with the Westside Button Mashers. I got my co-hosts, the Pond, for the first time entering in the
Yes,
podcast.
sir.
Go
Sir.
ahead, Pond.
Well, my name's John Boy Coy, but you can call me the Pond. But don't don't drown in the pond, because it's possible.
It's beautiful. We got, of course, Sid making a comeback.
Hey guys, I'm sick today, so I sound ridiculous.
And we got
You
you
got the
guys'
vid.
favorite edgelord, Shletty.
Yes, sir. Snow Bunny mastering the cut. You already know. Hold that pussy on the deck.
Whoa, Donald Trump, chill.
I think we need to introduce our new partner here. The one that does not shave at all. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, well. Hello. This is the
I'm sorry.
unshaven one.
No, wrong, sir. Barack Obama, please speak.
Let's say hello to the unshaven one. The man is unshaven. He needs a razor. And you're listening to Westside Button Mashers, episode 6.
Alrighty. So of course, the unshaven one, ladies and gentlemen, with Barack Obama. Thank you very much.
Gracias, senor. My name is Unshaven One, aka Unshaven Raven. I play a whole lot of Raiden, and I've been loving Mortal Kombat since way back in the 90s. So, longtime fan of MK, occasional YouTuber. I need to get on that a lot more, but yes, sporadically. But
yes, sir.
yeah.
And yes, thank you for joining us today, there, Unshaven One. Because of course we've been trying to look for people that are interesting, and who else?
As you know, I am. So of course I'm here.
Exactly. And then later on we do have the Vape Coach and X to the T who will be joining us a little later. But we'll get into it right now, and I do want to talk about. Actually, I don't want to talk about yesterday's fight. Maybe I can wait for the Vape Coach to be on for that one. So, I will ask this. Have you guys ever thought about considering going to Fight Stick, Hitbox, or are you guys just wanting to stay like on the D-pad? Unshaven, we'll let you have the honor since it's your first time on here. And we'll go with the Pond next.
Okay. So the Fight Stick or the D-pad? Actually, it's with this game, with MK11 specifically, I've pretty much gotten used to now just going for the D-pad.
Right.
For fighting games. I haven't messed with arcade sticks in a while. I used to have an old school arcade stick for Street Fighter, for the older Street Fighter games, for Third Strike and for Street Fighter 4, and way back with the older classics. I really liked using an arcade stick for MK9, and MK9 had great support. For those that remember, on PS3 and Xbox, they had great support with that. They had more widely spread arcade sticks to sell, and they had a dedicated MK one. So I got used to using that one and using the D-pad. I was pretty decent with both. Didn't necessarily play on the competitive level, but I was just naturally pretty competitive, but not in terms of like at the pro level. But I did know how to use the arcade stick back then and the D-pad. But once it came down to like MK10 and then pretty much getting back into it on MK11 a lot, I went straight up just D-pad. Thankfully, the PlayStation D-pad is pretty good as a whole, so I got pretty accustomed to using D-pad. Yeah, until that shit wears out, which I probably got to buy a new controller pretty soon because that shit's wearing out.
Yeah, it does wear out pretty
It's
well.
sad how quick, especially if you like to bag.
There you go. This is potato
Pond, have you thought about going to like a Fight Stick or a Hitbox, or you just would like to stay on pad?
If I were to play games like Tekken, Street Fighter, maybe Fight Stick, but I'm so ingrained. Like I have friends who have tried to get me to play CS:GO on PC with mouse and keyboard, and it just feels so foreign. It's just like I'm gonna just stick with what I know. And D-pad for me, it blew my mind when I found out some of the Westside Button Master members use analog. That blew me the fuck away. Chet, specifically, But like
Yeah,
that blew
right.
me the fuck away because how?
It's easy. I play analog stick too. It's not
Yeah,
that
you
hard.
too.
Oh yeah, Shletty does too. Yep.
It's not that
Yeah,
hard.
that's pretty wild. I can't. I've
That's
tried
what
using
I'm
analog before,
saying.
but no, it's tough. It's tough, man.
Shletty, have you thought about maybe wanting to switch over?
Yeah, fuck no. Dude,
It,
no. What do I? No, 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 no. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. I'm just like I've played with the controller for so long. Like it'd be like Koi said, foreign as fuck to
Yeah.
mhm.
just switch like that. And I'm like, I'm already comfortable playing with a controller. I play like every game with the controller. I don't like computer games. Fuck that shit. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Fuck everybody that uses a fight stick. You fucking wave dashing fucking Fujians.
Hey now, live and let. Hey, I had your back till you brought Fujin into it.
Yeah,
One-eyed
you
Boojin.
can't
Goddamn
diss
right.
one eye boojin, you know.
That's
Mm-mm.
right.
Sid, have you considered maybe switching over or trying anything else out?
So, sorry. I would totally, 100%, definitely try a hitbox and a fight stick. I don't see the reason why not. You know what I'm saying? I'm always open to change, to try new things, even if it gets me, my butt beat, all the time. It's still, I still think, say it's important to, try out new things, like
Right.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's dope. I would totally try it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't see the reason why not.
Hell yeah.
Fucking,
Yeah. I personally I've ever since I think the first person that I saw use a hitbox was Super Akuma. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's a Tekken player.
yeah, yeah.
From um and bro, like, what is he playing on? Like, I was like, oh, that looks like a regular fight stick, and then like he showed it like to the camera. I think he was going against a fighter called Cherry was it Cherry Berry Mango or something like that? I don't know. CBM. I'll just call him CBM. Um, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like a keyboard? And I started looking into it. I'm like, what is this guy playing? So I found out it was a hitbox, and I got more and more interested. Come to find out, they're fucking expensive as shit. By the way, I think they're like,
Well, of course they are.
yeah, they're at least like $200. I'll double check the price, but
Yeah, they're straight up
that
200 bucks, bro.
yeah, I okay.
$200.
So
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I saw that it was up for two
When I
hundred
saw
bucks.
that,
Yeah.
it completely deterred me from like wanting to get one, but I'm still really interested to
Especially
like.
if you buy it and you don't like it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. I feel
Yeah.
like if I was to really like, if I bought one, I'd be like, all right, I really have to fucking invest my time in this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind like if there was any way I can get like a free trial type of thing. I know that's kind of weird to ask or like want, but I would more than love to give it a shot and see how it feels. And then I can determine whether. As for fight
Do you have
sticks,
any friends that have one? See if
bro,
you can
I
borrow
don't
it.
have any friends that play fighting games. Period, except for
He said,
one
I
person.
don't have any friends. Vape coach.
Hey, Mr. Vape
Who
Coach.
still has
Oh,
not
the
added me. Look at
coach.
that.
Welcome, welcome.
Look at
Everybody's
that,
welcome to
vape
coach.
coach. Still has not added me.
What's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing?
Doing
What's
well,
going
man. How
on?
about yourself?
Doing good, man. What did I enter to? What's the topic of discussion?
So the topic of discussion right now is would you consider going to like a fight stick or a hitbox or just completely staying on pad?
I'd like to. I'd like to get a hitbox because I got fat fingers and it really. I'd be mashing a lot, and I actually just recently broke this controller. So yeah, I would like to, but
Does
um,
anybody know about the life length of uh
A
the
hitbox?
stick fight? Yeah.
yeah,
Because
that shit lasts forever, man.
I heard it
Yeah,
lasts a
they seem
while,
pretty
yeah.
durable, man. Yeah.
controllers seem to fall apart, especially if you abuse them.
Especially if you
Yes.
customize it and stuff, you can like just keep adding buttons and stuff, and it seems pretty cool.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And would you ever try like a fight like an actual like fight stick as well, or no?
Like what Biohazard uses?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Probably not. I don't know. I just don't like the analog function of that when I'm in like a fighting game. I know it helps for like Street Fighter and like Guilty Gear and stuff, but since I'm mostly an NRS player, I like buttonle, stuff like that. But you know what I actually did do to customize one of my newer controllers? I bought that Battle Beaver stuff. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes, I was
No.
gonna talk about that next. Yeah, go ahead though.
Yeah, I bought that because, like I said, I got fat thumbs, and every time I push like down, the left button will come out, and I can't tell you how many times I fuck up command grabs.
Oof. Yeah. That
So I
sucks.
bought that, and it's 4 separate buttons like the Xbox controller, and works great, man.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. All right. Yeah. And see, I was thinking about that too. Like, I know before you entered, I was talking about a hitbox. Like, it would be dope, but it's really expensive. Um, a fight stick, I wouldn't mind giving it a shot. I mean, I've never actually like. I mean, besides actually going to the arcade and fucking playing with one, it's cool. But not actually like just putting one on my lap. I would assume it's a different feel than actually just putting it or having it in front of you on an actual arcade system. But I would
Right.
really like to have the independent buttons because I did like the way that the Xbox controller feels while playing Mortal Kombat. But I just don't know like with other fighting games, you know what I mean? But I would definitely go the route of like the Battle Beaver, like to get the independent buttons.
Yeah, I think it's a big help. I think Sonic Fox was using it too. It's good to be more precise with your buttons, and unless you're like a Kotal Con player, command grabs can be a little tricky for the rest of us. I recommend
Yeah.
Guys,
those separate buttons, or basically even if you're RoboCop, any of those easy ones. But yeah, especially with, like wave dashing and stuff, I noticed it's helped because I don't like the regular PS4 directional pad. It's just basically one button that you has 4 separate parts
Agree.
rather than 4 separate buttons. But yeah.
and if you press up on the right side, you could get right up inputs.
Yeah, that does get frustrating
Mhm.
because I do seem to get a lot of input errors whenever I'm playing.
It should be 4 separate buttons.
I
That
agree.
is a
Yeah.
very interesting point. I had a homie of mine that he actually whenever we play we throw down offline in sets.
Hey, you PS5 owners, is the D-pad 4 separate buttons?
I think it's the same.
Um, the D-pad feels a lot like the PS4 one. It's slightly there's a couple of subtle differences, but it's not an independent 4 pieces. It's like when you move one button, you can see that the other buttons slightly move.
Do you
So
think you'd be able to like go in there and like break them apart and it would still work alright?
No, it's not like that.
no, yeah, it's not like that.
It,
Y-
it, it it's hard to explain, but it's like it's one button that has 4 separate sides basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So breaking one would just kind of fuck you out of one button.
yeah. If you
Um,
if you open up the controller, it's a dedicated unit that's right there like
Hmm.
that. The thing is though,
Oh.
there's adapters. And this is what one of my homies did is that he actually has an adapter to connect the PS3 controller to when he plays PS4 on MK.
Hmm.
Because he likes the feel of the PS3 D-pad. Because the PS3 D-pad was a little bit more tactile in terms of just pure D-pad work.
The PS3 controller
So
was my favorite controller.
Let me
yeah,
tell you
so
guys
that
something, man. I was playing MK on the Switch for a while, and the Joy Cons have 4 separate buttons. And I'll tell you what, man, I was like flawless
Ooh.
blocking and shit on there. I was having fun with that. Like, it was
yeah,
cool. Like,
Interesting.
just kind of, it was like if you give me 8 separate buttons, it's good. It's easy. Like I can, it has like a nice little click to it. So
So
whenever
you know.
yeah, you know what you're doing. And don't get me wrong, there's growing pains with it, but I was like, got it down. I got it down. That being said, don't play MK on the Switch. Yeah.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah, I would definitely go the Battle Beaver. Does anybody else have any comments on like type of controller?
Yeah, there's something to be said about that about arcade sticks too,
Oh,
and because
okay.
there's
Uh-huh.
subtle differences between the sticks. Like in terms of this goes back to some of the old school heads too. But if you play like Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter arcade sets, the Japanese style arcade stick is much different than the MK style arcade stick.
Oh,
So
yes. Yep.
when
They're
you
both for completely different games.
yeah, MK arcade stick was much more it's an analog stick, of course, but it was more digital, if that makes any sense. It had more direct clicks on the stick compared to and the handle was different compared to the Japanese style. So it was a subtle difference going from back in the day, going from Japanese fighting games to MK arcade sticks. And I remember that because I was always it was a learning process for me to get used to playing like the Street Fighter style arcade stick back when I was so dedicated to like MK arcade sticks back in the day.
Right.
So there is a key difference in like even in the analog arcade sticks they have their subtle differences, things like that.
Right. And I guess if you want to even dive further into that, there's also a big difference. Well, I don't know about big difference, but there's a difference between, at least on the analog side, for a Korean stick and a Japanese stick, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I've heard I think like Corey Gamings or something like that, who's a big YouTuber, fighting FGC YouTuber. He broke this down a while back. It's been a long time since I've seen the video, but from what I've seen, a lot of people do like the Korean style, especially when it comes to like Tekken. I mean, I wouldn't mind giving it a shot for MK. I just think it'd be really foreign, like you said, Pond. But
Very.
yeah, so
Yo.
oh my gosh, is that Exit?
Yeah, what's good? My bad.
Yo, what's good, Exit?
Are
Hey,
you guys,
what's cracking,
doing
Exit?
the cast right now? You guys doing the podcast right now?
Yeah,
No?
yep, yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, for sure. All
The
right,
live
I just wanna say,
podcast.
fuck everyone in the chat. Fuck all of you. I hate all of you. I'm joking.
So yeah, what we were talking about, Exit, is you know, would you ever go consider going to like a fight stick or a hitbox, or just completely stay on D-pad?
Probably a hitbox. Cause I have a fucked up thumb, so that actually helped me out. But yeah, probably a hitbox. You know, if the opportunity presents itself. But you know, it's one of those things where like I already put so much time into like getting used to the controller. You know, just like it's gonna be rough. It just depends on the game, really. Like for MK11, probably not. But if like another game, maybe. Who knows?
Right, yeah, definitely.
And it's like also like MK's like you want like a hitbox for like a legacy game like Guilty Gear and like stuff like the one the next out it's gonna be established, what buttons where. Like with MK11, man, Sub-Zero's Ice Ball has been 3 separate inputs for 3 different games, and it's like, man, they keep changing stuff, and it's like, all right, might as well just stick to the controller. The best players in the world seem to do fine on the controller. I guess it does break down to personal preference, but at the end of the day, it seems like the developers had the PS4 and Xbox controller in mind when they made this.
Right.
Yes, definitely.
It seems
There's this...
MK really does kind of cater a little bit more to pad controllers or pad players.
Where Gear, like when I went to the offline, there were dudes typing novels on their hitbox and fucking their arcade sticks, and it seems like the developers for like that and Tekken, they seem to have known that's their player base, that they're going to probably be getting those. Although they did take into account PS4 as well, but I feel like Guilty Gear is known for the fight stick, as is Tekken. Mortal Kombat seems to universally be played on pad. There are the exceptions, of course.
I feel like Injustice as well.
Definitely, yeah, in both Injustice 2 and MK, the newer MKs. But you can see that there was a shift though, because even in MK9 there was still a lot of players that used the arcade sticks, and it kind of it shifted out a lot once it got to MK10, and then in MK11 it's almost non-existent now.
Yeah, I just feel like the more like the NRS has developed the games, they're thinking more about simplicity and what is easier because I mean they're not really thinking about the pros necessarily. They're thinking about what is going to be easy to hop on and play. You have a PS4 controller, you have the game, let's play.
Exactly.
And,
you don't get a fight stick in the box when you buy the PS4. You get a controller.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I would agree with that.
Smart from a business standpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
I agree.
And then they get to sell you something else. Wink, wink.
Yeah, well, then you can do like your Hori Fight Commander and stuff like that if you want to get that extra level, and that entry level stuff. But yeah, NRS seems to be on casual play. I mean, that's why they sell so many units.
That's why they don't have Wi-Fi filters, because
they want everybody.
If you're not allowed to play because your Wi-Fi connection sucks.
Number one selling game or fighting game.
Yeah,
One of the number one
that's
selling.
their entire player base.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's important to point out too, though, that I think all modern fighting games are guilty of making things more casual, though. All
Yeah.
fighting games in the
That
modern
is
sense,
true.
like even it's Tekken, even if it's the newest Guilty Gear is guilty of that, pun intended. And so like
Right.
they all kind of have a little bit more of like forgiving mechanics in the sense of, again, the only game recently that I think has strictly stayed the hardcore route, and it's not even really a new game, is the Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate. And that one
Yeah.
is like that one's also one of the few games that has a big arcade stick base. And then but
Yes.
then like because the inputs on that game are insane.
Yep.
But
I
then
agree.
it only has 3 buttons, but the amount of directional inputs it's crazy. But you see that the player base, you see that they kind of suffer because of that business-wise, because the player base in that game is not really that big. It's a small, very dedicated base, but it's it's tiny compared to a giant
Do
like
they
MK or
listen to their
Yeah.
players?
something.
they. Oh, go ahead.
It's something I was interested in talking about as well. I don't know if it can be an entire tangent or it's just a side note,
Go
but
for it.
just the simplicity thing and how that relates to MK11, man. I feel like I was like day one who when I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, there's no combos in this game. And
Right.
it's one
Yeah.
thing, like as a commentator, and somebody who runs a show, I get to see the same combo routes over and over and over. I would say that that's one of the few things I feel in this game is extremely lacking and disappointing. Because in MKX, man, the world was your oyster, and I understand that game was crazy and it doesn't need to be replicated. But I don't
That's
know.
it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, but I do feel like we got the training wheels as far as combos go in this game, and it makes it less exciting because Sungmain, when I go in a training mode, what am I going to do? Stand 3 up to ground eruption into ground eruption, and that is
Right.
my B and B. And then what am I supposed to do in practice mode? Anti-airs, because there's no combos to really have, and
Just the
I
mind games
understand
you're
later on.
practicing, really.
Yeah, but it's like it just makes it seem like a lot less fun. Like if nobody's
Mhm.
on, it's like what am I supposed to go into training mode and do? So I would say that whatever this next game is, man, I really hope they open up the combo routes again, and not
Yeah.
crazy 50-50s, but I don't know, make different launchers and stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Right.
It's
Yeah, they
What do
really
you-
shit
what
the
do you
bed with
think-
with the launchers in the game.
What do you
It's-
think is a good minimum launcher amount for each character?
Well,
to
it's
have?
not even
3?
about the amount. I mean, look at a character like Johnny Cage. He has a back 2 that's a launcher that you can't use in the neutral unless you're a crazy person.
Right.
And then he has his nut punch, or his camera that leads to a. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just say make it realistic. It doesn't have to be an overhead low starter, but maybe you burn a couple extra moves that can get him in the air. And if you can really maybe make it a little bit harder, but maybe more rewarding is what I would say, rather than just standard B and B combos.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I think that's a very fair point, and I think there's something to be said. There's for both sides of this argument here, for both MK10 and MK11. It's two different extremes so it's kind of fascinating to see the way what the devs were kind of like set up on creating for MK10 compared to MK11. Because I was kind of on that boat too. Like when MK11 first came out on the scene, it didn't impress me, and I was kind of like, oh man, it kind of looks like they weakened everything down, and now you need to, just for even the way Scorpion's combo was compared to back in the days, and a lot of other players with Scorpion, they're just seen Raiden's combos get changed up so much,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and it was like I was kind of like, damn, maybe there isn't that much depth. But one thing I will say MK11 has really surprised me with over time, over these past 2.5 years, is that it took away some stuff from the sheer amount of combo variety, but it put a lot more focus in the beauty of using your normals and your neutrals, and really using that whiff punishing, the distance, mastering that distance. It really focused on doing that so much more than MK10 did. Whereas MK10 was just like nonstop
A
fucking
50-50
barrage.
fest.
Yeah, so it was kind of.
I feel that could be cut you off, but I feel like that could be some recency bias due to the fact that MK10, basically, if you put anything next to that game, I feel like it would look a lot better. I do see where you're saying, but also I would say that there are way too many fuck neutral tools in this game.
True.
I would just say that I can't tell you how many times I get, fill in the blank with what, but it's like
Raiden's teleport.
not even just Raiden's teleport. I mean, what are your wake up options on Sindel? How come Jackie gets to get in for free? How come this and that? And I'm not trying to sit here and whine, but
Yeah.
I would just say, because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure all of our characters have something that they exploit, but for a game that was supposed to be neutral and footsie based, why is Cabal hanging out in the air for the entire set?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, because especially with the slight gas and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it there's a couple of exceptions to the rule there, but like I think it's like putting Jackie. I can't use Jackie as an example because Jackie's like above everybody. Jackie's like Jackie breaks the rules on everybody. Like she's insanely powerful. But I think generally speaking, MK11 nailed the balance overall. And
It's
the
definitely a
amount
lot
of
more balanced, yes.
Counter to
Yeah,
a counter.
I agree to that
and
too.
The ability of mastering things like the flawless blocks, and then using that to an advantage, and also to play mind games with that, and to when to use it, when not to. There's a lot of
Literally what I was just about to say, and you said
yeah.
mind games. I was about to ask you guys.
It was a
Do
great
you
combination
think
of
the
attack and defense.
slowness? Do you think the slowness of Mortal Kombat has added to the amount of mind games
Yes.
and the depthness of mind games
Yes, absolutely. I say on that.
instead of just on MKX?
I think it has because I mean you got like 50 wake up options. You got regenerating bars on defensive and offensive. It's not like you have to work for your bar. You have these weird interactables that either can save you or that can pretty much demolish the gameplay that you're trying to do because I feel that they're stupid punishable. I mean, I think that's pretty much it on my end.
Yeah.
I think they, just going back to the MKX thing, I feel like they definitely slowed the game down, which was good in my opinion. Rather than games being as long as Guilty Gear and stuff or as short as Guilty Gear, which is over in 20 seconds. It felt like MKX was like that too. I feel like the pace is fine. I have no problem with the pace. I just have a problem with the depth they gave to each character when you split them into 3 variations.
Right.
Or rather, the lack of depth when you split a character into 3 variations. There's got to be somebody here or in the chat that has a Kano that's thinking, God damn, if I could just equip Manhandled, this would be a different story.
I thought you'd never bring him up. Oh boy, I thought you'd never bring him up.
Yeah. But there's got to be every player here has a character that they're like, fuck man, if I could just get that one move or that move or one slot. And this is something that I've heard on many podcasts before, and I've even talked with friends about, is we just got to get rid of this variation system. I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. I get it. It's good for your character to have coverage for different situations, but that's what we have other characters for. And I think that that's something NRS should move back to, is just completing a character. Make a character top to bottom how you want them to be, fill out their moveset, and let's get it going. And if this character doesn't do well against this character, they can pick up somebody else, because that's what we all do anyway, right? I mean,
Right.
Exactly.
that's kind of what.
So I guess in a sense, kind of go back to the MK9 format.
To fight everybody.
I think, I mean, that kind of segues into the next question too. I mean, are there any other characters you guys would be willing to try? Like any new characters you guys are willing to try?
Joker.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Kodo Khan's what
No,
I'm
the
looking at.
thing is, it's really easy to learn characters in MK11.
Mhm.
It's ridiculously easy. Like I could play the whole cast, no problem. You know what I mean? But like, if you're somebody to play MKX, like I gotta put like maybe 2 to a month to learn that reptile. You know what I mean? Just like there's a lot of depth in characters in X compared to 11.
That's what I'm saying.
That
too,
could be a good and bad thing. You know what I mean? It just characters. There's just characters that are more complete than others. Honestly, like you got a character like New Sidebot. It's like, dude, you're putting amplified slide and the shadow kicks and the shadow or the teleport And then the last move is like you could put whatever the hell you want. Just like everyone's gonna use those two moves, for certain characters. You got other characters that do have freedom, with their variations. It just
Mhm.
I feel like they just kind of shitted on some characters, honestly. They
Yeah.
just have like Scorpion. What are you gonna do? What, are you gonna put scene rare? You gonna put that trash ass variation? Fake teleport? Really? That's what we're doing? 2021 still doing fake teleport? It's
Hey
just
man,
like
Reborn is pretty
that's it.
strong, bro. You can't don't underestimate
That's
it, bro.
it.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true, but just
Yeah.
like that's really it, dude. That's all you freaking got with Scorpion. Like, I don't know. But I think they just fucked up on the variations. I think the variations should come back, but I think they just fucked up. Honestly, I think they half-assed it. I think if they would have done a patch at the end, I think they would have fixed a lot of shit and done it right. Because if you really think about it, like the last patch we got was really good.
Mhm.
It was a really good
Yeah.
patch. Like,
It's,
we had more hit advantage off
Yeah.
pokes, short hops
For
became better. We got fucking
yeah.
customs. It's
Um,
just like
Yeah.
little things like that.
They
It
did-
was
they
a
did
really
some-
good patch. Like,
They
but-
did some.
Exit.
Oh,
Let me
go
ask you this. What do you call it? What if we got this in the future? And this is going back on my plan to get rid of variation systems. What if we kept the variation system? What if we started getting DLC for not characters, but what if we got DLC for new moves?
I'll
Like,
be a
that'd be
dumbass and
badass.
I'll buy them. I'll be that
That's
dumbass
what I'm
that
saying.
I'll buy them. I mean, Tekken
Oh,
did it, and
shit.
it's doing fine.
Let's
Can I
say
I would
let's say-
only buy them. I would only buy them if we could see the specs of the moves before we bought them.
But
Then this
no,
game
no,
would be
you don't.
labeled as
No, you don't
pay
have
to
to.
win.
What if this was you didn't have to buy it? It's just like, oh, this month we're introducing Johnny
content
Cage.
update.
Yeah, it's basically a patch, but we're introducing. With this character also comes this new move, and with Johnny Cage, we're giving him the enhanced nut punch that does this instead. How would you guys feel about that? Rather than a character every month, let's say we got new strings or new specials.
I think that was probably their game plan going
No,
like
that
if it
was
wasn't
their
for
game.
COVID and
I was just
everything.
gonna
I
say
think
that.
that was probably going to be their
They-
game
they
plan.
were-
Would it just be
Going in the
random
future.
characters, or would
It's just
it
that
be
they were gonna-
everybody gets one?
Ed Boon said that they're going to be adding new moves to each character
Yeah,
as
everybody
the game
gets one,
goes
yeah.
on.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
That's what Ed
Yeah,
Boon
yeah.
said in
I
this
wouldn't
interview.
doubt that
That
he
was
did.
like
yeah.
an hour long. Like, yeah, I
You're
watched
an
that
oracle.
shit. Dude, he said, he was like, yeah, we're going to be adding
Yeah.
new moves to characters and this and that. Which they changed move for characters. Like, I'm trying to think of a move. Anyways, doesn't matter. But like, they say they were going to do it, they just never did it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was just
Right.
like,
Well,
It
certain
would've
key
been the
characters got
perfect-
changed up a lot in terms of from 2019 till now. They got changed up a lot. Like some of them, Raiden got changed up big time. In terms of the first 3 months before the major patch, he got changed up sizably. Like in that first big summer patch of 2019.
yeah, he went through some changes. Like, Raiden was
Yeah.
dog shit when he
Yeah.
first came out. He was terrible.
Yeah.
And he became really, really good, like, with time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just one of those things that they just, I don't know. I think it was just more on their part. Like, if they would have committed to what they were going to do, I honestly think the game would be fucking amazing. Straight up.
Yeah,
I think if we
it's
got
still-
another
yeah.
patch, it would have been great. Like, I honestly think it would have been 10 out of
Yeah.
10. That's just me. And I always tell, NRS that they do mediocre jobs at patches, which they have. Majority of their patches have been very mediocre. Some better than others, but that last patch that we got was really fucking good. I
Yeah.
feel like people didn't really give them credit for it, but the last patch we got was really, really good. I mean, the patch where we got customs, not that other bullshit one where they fucked us over. They just you lose health,
The hot-
you get
the hot
50
fix?
health.
The
That
health,
one was
the health thing was
terrible.
horrible. The health thing was just putting a
Shao
band-aid on a
Kahn
much
did not
bigger
need that. He did not need that.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
All they needed to do was make it stand 7 frames, and he would have been S tier. Like, Jesus Christ. Well, that's so difficult, but
He needs to stand
Amazingly enough, though.
14 frames.
There you go. Amazingly
That's
enough, though, I
minus
would have never
40
expected them to
on
give us
hit.
new brutalities, and we got them.
Oh,
that
yeah,
struck me as a
that's true,
surprise. I
too.
was like, oh shit.
That's true. I did want to address if nobody else wants to comment on that on like new characters. Did anybody else want to comment on that part? I was gonna address a couple questions in the comments.
No, I'm cool.
What was it? Yeah, go ahead.
What with the new characters or the addressing the questions? Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jane had a question. She said, "Are fighting games very underrated? And if so, why do you think?" I think you know what, Jane, you barely came into this. We talked about it a little bit on the one of the last podcasts, but why not? For the newer viewers that are recently joining, let's
Pick your fucking poison and enjoy it.
exactly. The reason that they're underrated, I mean, I don't want to say underrated, but it's just they're very hard to get into. Anybody can rely on a teammate to fucking carry them and have a snipe or some stupid shit like on COD or whatever. I mean, it can be kind of fun. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to fighting games, it's just you and against the computer or against another human being. You know what I mean? So people can't handle losing, like me yesterday. Just kidding.
Who's that against
Um,
Vamp? No, Vamp's random as fuck, dude. That's not your fault.
no,
Somebody's
it's
gonna fight Vamp. Vamp's random.
I don't want to even get into it. I mean, it's not Vamp's fault.
No, it
But
is. Vamp's my teammate. I tell him all the time he's random as shit.
and it's not like I was pissed off with him. I was just like, bro, he did down
I
two
was.
twice, and he got away with it. Oh my gosh, I was. See, I'm already getting
You gotta
livid as it
respect
is.
that shit, bro. You
I'm
gotta
getting livid with
respect
it
that
as
shit.
it is. But
That's
anyway,
part of the mind games, bro.
yeah, it's the mind games. You know what I mean? So I mean, can a lot of people can't take that shit. Like people, if that was to happen to them, anybody else that doesn't like fighting games, they would literally just drop the game and have nothing to do with it.
There's literally
Besides,
videos of a girl crying because she got Shiva stomped over and over.
yeah, there you
That was
go.
that was ridiculous, though.
She will
I never
never play
saw
a
that. I
fighting
never
game
actually got to see
again.
that video.
I heard about it, but I never saw it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's just it was just trash. It was so.
I
terrible.
don't understand why that made such a big impact. It's just someone crying over losing. That doesn't. I
Squeaky
don't
wheel
understand why
gets the
Peop-
oil.
No,
people have been
she's
crying about losing for years. Like
No,
it
no, no.
just,
It's not because she was crying she was losing. It's because she was crying because felt like she couldn't do anything.
But that's just
Let
real
it quit
life.
longer,
That's
man.
like,
Someone
but
will
that's
read
like, that's been going on for like years. It's just that now it's on camera. It doesn't. It just seems to me like it was such a silly, overblown thing.
Right.
But it just, But then again, I don't know. I love fighting games, and I personally think fighting games actually have kind of made a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think so
kind
too.
of we have a brand new Guilty Gear game. We have MK11 still going strong despite
Which I will
the
not
COVID
play
issues and the
because
dev
back
problems.
to block is cancer.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm a diehard press a block button type of player,
Facts.
but yeah, there's gonna be a brand new Virtua Fighter game now that the devs announced that
Bro,
the
Project
port
L
made-
looks sick.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's
there's
that new one,
Project
that other
L.
one,
SNK.
DNF.
Yeah, DNF.
that-
DNF was
SNK
kind of fun. Unfortunately, we didn't
Right.
get to play it much
I'll
like
check that out,
I
Scotty,
wanted
by the
to.
way.
There's the there's the King of the Fighters, the new one too. So
Mhm.
there is a lot of plus to all of this. And then, if anything, there's been other genres that have gone the way of the dinosaur. Like like for me, I used to love real time strategy games, RTSs like StarCraft and Dawn of War
Yeah.
back in the day, and now those games are almost completely non-existent now. Like most people nowadays don't even know what that is.
Right.
Yeah,
and
but they always
so-
come back. There's always games like that. They'll come back eventually.
I hope so. The only one out there right now that's new in that sense is like Age of Empires 4. That's it. And
Hey, that's a great
It's-
game. That's a
great
good
game. Yeah.
That's a great
So
game.
So yeah, I mean, I think fighting games are pretty well regarded. Consider all things considered, they're doing good on streams, and they're making.
I think the community is a lot better. I still think at the casual level, you're gonna play the Mortal Kombat story, play an online match or two, and then you're done with the game.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah,
Like
for sure.
the longevity of it is not.
Who's gonna want to put in the
they-
hours?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like to do that's a lot of commitment. To learn a corner combo is a commitment.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
would you do that?
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
But see, that's the problem. I feel like,
The attention span of people half the time.
well, okay. So here's my thought process. If game developers are going to create games specifically for casual people who play it 2-3 times a month with their buddies, they're not gonna notice all the in-depth bullshit that the people who spend time
Right.
like we do.
Of course.
And I don't want to call myself a higher level player, but compared to casual people. I'm a higher level player. And
Right.
there's shit that I notice on the daily that should not be in the game that is not okay. But I feel like since the majority of the audience, which would be the casual consumers,
Hmm.
they don't give a fuck because those are the people buying into the games. And they don't get to the point that we got where we notice all the bullshit that Ed Boon himself probably hasn't even played the game enough to notice.
Well, it's a fine balance that they have to manage.
Yeah.
Because AAA development is extremely costly, man. And just the industry, to make any AAA game, it costs millions upon millions of dollars. It's not like back in the days where dev teams could be more creative with what they want to just throw out there because a small team could get it done. But now it's like everything costs a ton of money.
Yeah.
So they have to be able to balance things out.
It's
Cost
sad,
versus
though.
benefit. That's a sad reality, but yeah, it's a real thing. Like they won't have any investors if they don't. So they have to have a manager, like make the casual jump in, but have enough depth to make veterans want to stay. So it's that fine balance. It's like
Well, you
easy
have to
it's
understand, casuals is like 90% of what they're 95%. They don't
yeah.
really. The hardcore base, I mean, we're basically just casuals that decided to play this for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
at
Right.
the end of
Yeah.
the day, as long as we bought the
Yeah.
game, they don't care what tournaments we go to. They still won. We still bought the game, the DLC, all that. So yeah, this is all dedicated to just as long as you buy this game, they are happy. It doesn't matter, in my opinion. That is.
Investors definitely, you're definitely right in the sense that the investors are definitely happy regardless once that happens. But
Absolutely.
dev teams know that in the long run, they have to have some sort of scene stay alive because they know that the veterans are the ones that are going to keep things alive. Because if they went like 100% super duper casual, they know that they'd get a big backlash. And I've seen it
Yeah.
happen to certain games in the past where they would go super duper casual and they pay the price for it. And so their next game does very, very, very bad. So they have to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say that's like, but NRS. The problem with it, in my opinion, is they don't appeal to their past player base because this game is nothing like MK9X, or it becomes a different game essentially every single time. It doesn't really have that
It's not a
longevity
legacy
factor.
game.
It's a tough road, man, because I've seen games that try to just be too much like the previous game as well, and they still get backlash for it too. Because then people go like, why is it? It's just the same. Well, I'm not gonna spend money for it. This is just the same game I bought last time. They're just trying to charge more money and be greedy.
Right.
So like I've seen and not just in fighting games, I've seen that happen to games like franchises like Battlefield and things like that. Like when sometimes things are too samey and they don't evolve enough, they can get criticized. But if they're too different and they're too far apart from the previous game, then they get criticized too. So it's always, you gotta have a balance in between.
Well, you can't make everybody happy.
You cannot
True.
make everybody happy. It's a fine balance. And going back to the older MK games, I mean, look at the 3D games when they brought like Deadly Alliance and Armageddon and that era. It wasn't really that competitive, and they kind of went the casual route with those games. And
Right.
so it kind of, and then going back to like MK2 and MK3, there was always a big casual base with MK, even though there was these hardcore Ultimate MK3 competitors and MK2 competitors in the arcade scene as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of like, if you just me growing up, me and my homies or me and my brother and my family, like if we had people coming over, what's the perfect fighting game to jump in? You got everybody loves to see MK. It's such a fun to watch game. You see motherfuckers get kicked out of a bridge and fall and all kinds of blood and
Yeah,
it's
no,
so
how'd
over the
you
top,
do that?
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of like when people can to this day can fire up like an old ass Street Fighter 2 like retro game and be like, people just have fun because everybody knows it, and it's so easy to just do stupid jump kicks and have two people drunk off their ass just like fighting, It's,
Right.
so it's a lot of fun for the average person that doesn't give two shits about like frame data or even learning competitive or that type of thing.
Right. But I mean, I guess I could be wrong. Maybe NRS does listen to a good handful of their people, but I think from what I've seen, like what Capcom, they actually do listen to a lot of their competitive players, and at least they're the ones that shit. There's a Capcom Cup for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Like that pays
That
out
is
probably
true.
more than Evo. You know what I mean?
Well, there's caveats to that though, because if
It's
you look
true.
into the hardcore base of the fighting games in Capcom, you could find a bunch of people that dissect and hate all kinds of stuff on Street Fighter V. They hate the
True.
current state of the game.
True. Like me,
This
I'd
happened in
rather
the
play
Street.
Street Fighter
Glory
4
to
than Street Fighter
God.
5.
By
Yeah,
the way,
this
what's going
happened.
on, Cease?
What's going on,
You.
Cease?
Oh, cease again with the lateness? No, I'm just kidding.
The tournament player, we're deep as hell in here.
From GameStop? Oh my gosh.
Stop.
Oh, are you eating lava cake right now?
No, I just popped in. Yeah, you know.
No, we're happy to have you, bro. Happy to have you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Unshaven.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, basically it was just that like every single fighting game, this happened in the Street Fighter 4 era as well. That they had there was always a certain base of people that had their differences and their frustrations with each generation of game,
Right.
just in a different way. So it's even in the, you know, and the same, and it's funny because even in the Street Fighter community, they'll be arguing amongst themselves, dissecting everything in that game, and they'll be like, well, Tekken or MK devs listen more to their people. So it's kind of like they all kind of compare each other from the outside looking in. It's not so.
But as a developer, wouldn't it be best to listen to your top players who dig in deep the most? Because
Yes,
even if you
yes
fix
and no.
those small niche situations,
Yes
the
and no,
game
because
will be bug free from casual all the way to pro.
yes and no, because the very, very hardcore players amongst themselves don't all agree with each other. They themselves bicker amongst each other all kinds. And
Right.
so even if the devs would strictly listen to nothing but a hardcore base, then they would make things too hardcore for the casuals, and then people on the casual side there'd be a backlash. I simply can't emphasize enough that I strongly believe that balance is always, there has to be a balance in these things, or else it's one side, one extreme or
It'll
another.
never
It's
be a
it's
true balance, but
yeah.
you know,
A good
Right.
amount of
it's nice
feedback
to
from
have some form of one.
yeah, and this goes with like when I was like knee deep in the RTS community, like the RTS games had this issue too, where some RTS games became too hardcore, and then but they had to have a balance too, because like, and they would have some people that would be like beta testers for the like top pro players would beta test upcoming versions of the game, and it'd be great. There would be good feedback for the devs. So then, so there is a good balance of that, where like they could get some feedback from the pros, but like if they just blindly listen to everything every pro says, I mean, even among the pros, it's
Fucking test team, and if they don't, they should.
Well, let me tell you
Right.
guys something.
Yeah.
There's nobody better than Aziz, all right? He's the guy who knows everything about this game. He's the guy that NetherRealm should be paying this stuff, right? Because that guy tests literally everything. And in between crunch time, they're not going to get everything.
They're
And it seems like
hiring.
that guy-
They're hiring.
Well, they're not. It doesn't seem like they're hiring the right people, because I feel like guys like that are getting just swept under the rug.
Aziz knows what he's talking about. He puts out videos like all the time, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I
yeah,
just
Aziz is a
feel
cool cat.
so. But since they know a guy like that's out there, that makes me ask, what is their priority? And I mean, it just seems like the bugs and stuff we get, I mean, that are still in the game currently, you know, I mean, it doesn't seem like that's what they're interested in, because people at casual levels don't care about stuff like that. And
Right.
every fighting game has a competitive scene, and NetherRealm's pretty good to move on from theirs every 2 years, so they're probably just thinking the second they put out the next game, you know, this will be dead. But MKX is still pretty going. It's not what it used to be, but it's still pretty much going on.
Yeah, it is.
Still going
definitely.
good, yeah.
So it tells me that games like this still will have a future, even when the next title drops, because there'll be,
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be people like MKX that don't like MK12 or whatever it is.
Or
So-
people that like
I hope they
MK11
enjoy
and
playing
don't like
it for the next 6 years.
Yeah. And, I mean,
go ahead.
yeah. No, I'm just, yeah, that was pretty much my point.
For sure. I'll address
What was
Ray's.
the,
Go ahead.
what's the topic at hand?
Jane had asked,
Bullshit
like,
game.
our Why are fighting games very underrated, and if so, why do you think?
Okay.
And I know,
Can we
like, I think you were
define?
there.
Can
I
we
think you were there
define
during the last podcast
underrated?
that we did that, but you're more than welcome to address it as well.
Can we define underrated?
I guess something that's kind of not. Man, I don't even know how you would say. I guess underrated as in like it's not gonna be on the mainstream. Like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be on commercials and stuff like that, but for how long? Like, it's not gonna be like
Well, I think
promoted
the
on the
long
radio and shit like that, or
I
like
think the longevity of them is underrated.
mhm.
I think that's literally it. I mean, fighting games,
Yeah.
as we were talking about, are cool just to come get drunk and have a few good matches with at a casual level. But as far as the longevity of the work you have to put in to get good and to be,
Yeah,
to get,
most people aren't up for that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
definitely
an
not.
investment, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
It really is.
So I mean,
Sometimes,
even
yes.
somebody like me who's played the game since launch, and who probably
Yep.
hasn't put the work in required, but I mean, even 2 years in, man, I'm still barely just scratching the surface. I mean,
Yeah.
Same.
so I
Same
mean,
here, bro.
take that compared to one of the top guys. What work did they have to put in?
All right.
Studying frame data, all that good stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, just put it out there. Top players like someone like Unjust. I checked his stats recently. That boy has 40,000 games.
Jesus.
Damn.
Well, it's 20,000 casual games and then 20,000 ranked sets.
Wow. That's
So
Wow.
it could be
That's
more.
a
It could be
KD.
pushing like 45,000.
and that's not including his locals.
Yeah, that's not even including like Koth, like private matches.
Yeah.
That's just time
Did you
spent
look at his
online.
win rate?
And he has a Heidi account, by the way. I've played it.
His Heidi account.
So
A
yeah,
Smurf?
yeah.
I wouldn't consider them Smurfs in this game, to be honest. Because
No.
I can guarantee you, no high-level player
I
is
mean,
getting on a separate account just to bully new people. Like, no, I don't think any fighting
Yeah.
game player like enjoys that.
Except for
Nah.
Foxy Grandpa, yeah.
Plenty does that.
Yeah, but Foxy Grandpa does is a little bit of it because that's more of the content side.
Yeah.
You're
Than like
right.
something like
Yo,
There's
does
no fun
Sikander
allowed.
do that all the
and
time?
there's people at what's that?
Doesn't Sikander do that all the time? Have a bunch of like separate accounts?
Yeah,
Once
but these
again,
guys
on the
these guys are
content.
more on the content side of things. Like they're doing
I
it
see.
because they're obviously like trolling a lot of people. They're trying to get like the people you're gonna find on the casual level, like the very casual level, are the people that are gonna get on the mic and they're gonna talk shit and they're gonna give you the
Right,
sound
right.
clips and the chat's gonna go crazy for it.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Definitely.
someone like
He's
someone
riding
like
that
Unjust
clout
isn't
dick.
getting on Heidi for that.
Yeah.
It makes
It
sense.
is kind of funny though. Like you feel like a god when you're on a new Heidi and you're like, oh, I can flawless block, and it is kind of fun.
Vape coach coming clean.
The tag,
Hey, man.
yes.
Hey, Rave Coach is out there somewhere on a Heidi.
Rave coach.
Oh, the truth comes out. He's got like 5 different accounts.
I'm gonna be looking for Rave coach now.
Oh yeah,
Man.
he plays Scorpion.
I do want to address Ray's question. He said, should they bring back Harakiris?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
Harakiris? Do you know what Harakiris are there, Cease?
bro. Tell me this. How good would it be if somebody tried to do a mercy on you and you just killed yourself?
I think that'd be pretty
like,
funny,
literally the
honestly.
best thing. Harakiri's when it lets you kill
Oh
yourself.
man, that'd be pretty funny. Yeah.
But no. In all seriousness, in today's kind of atmosphere with mental health and stuff like that, I don't think it's a good idea to promote.
And I was
Yeah,
kind of
probably
thinking
not.
that too.
Maybe,
I was
yeah.
like, I just don't think that's a good idea right now.
Yeah, no, probably not.
We already
Yeah.
got friendships.
Well,
we
if
got
it's not gonna be a
fatalities.
thing
We got
now.
fatalities. We're good.
I
It's
do
gonna be
love
back.
that they added.
Bring back babalities.
Yeah, those are cool.
Or animalities. I think animalities were kind of cool. Honestly, I think that was pretty
Yeah.
dope.
Those are pretty cool. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
Caffeine.
I think if it's not going to be a thing now, it's never going to be a thing again.
That's true, too.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could make the argument with video games don't really promote said behavior. because there's always that discussion from like shooters, you know. A lot of the media will always try and say like, well, a lot of these kids are playing these Call of Duties, and
Oh yeah,
it's definitely
yeah,
incentivizing them to go out and do dangerous things, and that's
yeah.
been the discussion for as long as shooters have kind of existed.
Hmm.
Yep.
And
Since back.
none we like there's been multiple studies, and
Yeah.
whether we like it or not, I think the general consensus is that that's not necessarily true. But and so
I've
you
been
could really,
killing
if you
people
wanted
in
to,
video games for forever, and I've only thought about killing people about 14 times. So
Wow.
nice,
That's a good.
nice.
Wow.
Only 14 times.
Only 14. But have
That
you ever
sounds
done
about
it?
right.
No, of course
Yeah.
not.
only twice.
Oh my
my God.
gosh. Look at this guy.
I've only got 10 chopped off hands in the fridge.
Right.
They're my
But
trophy.
Don't worry, we'll give everybody
FBI.
Koi's
yeah, we
yeah.
got him.
Thank
Yep,
you.
we got him.
Thank you
He's
for
right
being
here.
the Karen, Sid. Thank you for being the Karen. We appreciate it.
Oh, I'll always snitch. Don't you worry about
Good and hold
that.
it in.
Yeah, but my initial point is just that like if you really wanted to, you can make the argument and still throw it in and probably be safe. But if what they're gonna do is they're not gonna do that, because they don't
Right.
really care about like the actual danger of it. They just don't want the bad.
Bad publicity.
Bad
Yes.
publicity.
Exactly.
I think ironically enough though, this game is the game that was the game that made the rating system in the first place. Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
when it first came out way back in 91, 92, it had forced the industry to create a whole rating system, because before that there was no system of rating.
Yes.
So when that game came out, it just broke new ground. Like it's pretty much this game and then fucking like Sewer Shark on the Sega CD later on, because it used that full motion video shit.
Which is
There was
gonna
have to be
And
one.
Doom.
There was gonna
where
have
the
to
game
be
has come
something.
from.
Yeah.
And no, there was gonna have to be something, man. The first fighting game I ever played, by the way, was Killer Instinct, and still, in my opinion, one of my favorites. The original one. I wish they would have kind of kept up a
Yeah.
competitive scene with it. And
They
it
bring
wasn't
it to
just on
PlayStation, I
Xbox.
bet.
Yeah, but I just really like the character diversity in that. Like, I have a friend who plays like a lot of Capcom games and stuff like that, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, tell me why you don't find like Mortal Kombat that interesting?" And he showed me the character roster of MK11. He's like, "Well, let's look. Who looks interesting in this game?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, let's look at Cabal. He's just a guy with a gas mask." And basically, his argument was it's not very aesthetically appealing. Basically, when you have like somebody like Zangief or fill in the blank with other characters in other fighting games who they go over the top for characters like that, whereas this is a little bit more grounded in reality,
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people don't find MK appealing. I know I'm kind of spitballing all over the place here, but I think that's
They're
why.
close-minded.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of people were saying, basically MK11, it feels kind of boring to them from what I've heard.
I don't think that's I'm gonna kind of like follow up off that what you're saying right now. I don't think that's much of a Mortal Kombat franchise issue. That's strictly just MK11 because
Yeah.
I agree.
because there's a very heavy lack of ninjas, which is what the game is known for.
Yeah.
And naturally some of them came through DLC. You're gonna have the Melina and the Rain, obviously. But we're still missing like the big three, which is always requested every single game. It's the Smoke, it's the Ermac, it's the
Reptile.
I guess Rain was technically one of them, but Reptile. And on top of that, there's so many special forces. Like I'm looking at the roster right now.
my God,
There's
man.
Johnny, Sonya, Cassie, Jax, Jackie. So that's 5 already, right? Are
Right.
there any more here?
No.
There's Kung Jin, but he's not in it. But I mean,
Yeah.
And
And
Takeda.
you have and
want
technically if you want to
Taro.
throw someone else, you also have Rambo, which is guess, but it's still part of the roster, and he also is limited in ability. These characters don't do anything,
they're
Rambo.
not.
I mean-
they're boring.
I mean,
Yes.
this is just for my childhood dream of seeing Rambo fight RoboCop and Terminator. Though that part was kind of cool, though. That part
Yeah.
was
But,
kinda- Is it-
that's a pass. That's a pass. But like,
Yeah.
there's still no excuse for the other 5 to like be hogging up a. How many are there? 37 in the total roster.
There's
And it's close to
40. 40 characters from that? 41?
It should have been 40.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I think they were missing 3 in the total plan, but 37 as of right now. And 5 of these are just there's not much difference from one to the next outside of Johnny, who has some powers. None of it's ever explained, but he's there.
Right.
Here's something I wanted to bring up, and it's on the same vein.
Okay.
Is that Street Fighter makes a game every 5 years, whatever it is, or fill in the blank, however long it is.
Yeah.
But every game they make, M. Bison is in it. Why, when there's a new Mortal Kombat game, do we have to wonder if Jade is going to be in it, or if, not the title characters, obviously, but why do we have to wonder if Rain's going to be in it? If you have an established roster, why can't that be the base for every single game, and then add your DLC? And I get it, it's 50 characters, or however many it is now, but we have plenty of DLC characters. Can you just remove those? Let's have our base roster that's been established since MK9 at least. Let's start there.
Right.
Keep the same roster every single game. And I get it, you can't because some of them die in story mode and whatever, but this isn't about story mode. Shang Tsung was dead in the original story mode, and he was still in it. And I just feel like that should be a plan going forward, is just have every character there. Then yeah. Because I don't like the swapping of musical chairs we do with characters.
They kind of did that with MK Armageddon, but MK Armageddon kind of didn't do that great.
Yeah, and Trilogy.
And then to point out also, Street Fighter 3 didn't have M. Bison, and they were missing a lot of the roster in Street Fighter 3.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So
I
that's
mean,
probably fair.
It's kind of hit and miss, I think. And I think Ed Boon had said himself, like, some characters kind of need a break. But of course, like, you got Scorpy and Sub.
He needs to take a break from making fucking decisions.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I think, like, those characters are obviously, the poster children of the game. And unfortunately, they even did my boy wrong, Liu Kang, in Deadly Alliance, and I had to find a new main, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, who can I find, I guess.
In Deadly Alliance, you had a character crisis?
Yeah, I had a character crisis because they didn't have Liu Kang.
Deadly Alliance, bro.
I really did like Deadly Alliance, I really did.
Hey, Deadly Alliance was underrated. I do like Deadly Alliance, actually, more, in terms of all the 3D games. Yeah, Deadly Alliance was cool.
Thumper.
Yes.
TDA is starting back up.
TDA?
Yeah, the Deadly Alliance.
What?
Let me ask you guys really quick: what characters for better or worse? Who do you guys feel should? Who do you guys feel should not return?
Who should not return?
Under no
That
circumstances.
cowboy. That dumb cowboy.
I knew that was coming.
Oh
Jackie,
my god.
Jackie and Jade.
Can you guys tell me why? Can you follow up by telling me why?
Yeah, let's go ahead, Sid. Since you're so strongly opinionated on the cowboy, go ahead.
Easy. This game, just like you guys said, is about ninjas, warlocks, and Baraka.
How about you
Why
unmute your
is
fucking
there-
mic and then talk shit?
Oh my gosh. It's quite just go ahead and take a puff and relax a little bit, okay?
Why is there a
I
cowboy?
got you.
I don't understand it.
Alternate dimension cowboy, bro.
Why is there a cowboy in this game?
Hold on, can I interrupt for a second and
Go ahead. That's
Sid,
it. That's all I want to say.
Is your mic messing up? Because like it's really staticky.
It's what?
Your mic is like it's popping.
Oh, screw me. Skip me. Go ahead. You guys go ahead.
Adid's just got a messed up mic, yeah.
It's okay, Sid.
Shloody, you hadn't said anything in a while. Did you want to chime in on this?
Oh shit, Slutty's here?
Of course I am. Sorry, bro. You said a character that we don't want to return.
Exactly.
And can you like tell me why, like an in-depth reason, or even if it's not in-depth, just something, some kind of cliff note on it?
Maybe you just don't like the way they look. Whatever.
Johnny, it's his time
Oh my
to go.
god.
It's
Of all
old.
the
No.
characters?
I'm just saying, like, based on like the fact that he's like an old ass character. I'm not saying like part of like the main roster and everything. Like people like Johnny, Sonya, like there's like room for people like Cassie, like the Combat Kids, to like shine and like take Johnny, Sonya, and Jax out of the game.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not saying like they're bad characters or anything. Like, so like I heard somebody
I
say
will.
Jackie. That doesn't make sense. Are you saying take Jackie out because of Leap or because of her character? Because that can change in the next game.
No, I'm saying take the parents out. Take Johnny Cage out. Take Sonya out. They got Cassie. Take Jax out. And
Like, why are they in there if they
Jackie.
already got the descendants in, pretty much?
Exactly. They need to die off and let the kids take over.
I see that point. I get what you're saying.
There would be a lot of backlash from that.
Fuck them.
I mean, not. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Because
yeah,
there's
true.
diehard Sonya and Jax players. They're guaranteed there's gonna be people crying about that like
True.
big time.
But it's
The
not
the
like,
moment the moment they introduced the combat kids was the moment that everyone should have prepared themselves for, you know, these
Letting go.
parent characters to not return for at least a game, if they're not DLC already, you know,
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
like
Because it's not like they're immortal. They're human. They're gonna die.
Yeah, everybody's
Right.
died in the MK franchise. Everybody has
At one point or
pretty much
another.
died and
Well,
lived.
we
Yeah,
have time
it's,
travel now. It doesn't matter. But who do you
It's-
like? Who's not interesting? The combat kids are not interesting by any stretch of the imagination.
aside from Takeda.
Chiquita's pretty cool. He has a good storyline though.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Takeda is pretty cool.
I think he's the one character they did do right, and he's not just a rib. Kung Jin is also pushing it. I think he's a boring character, like, but
Fujin
he's
should
close.
come back in every installment from here on out.
Yeah, Fujin's awesome, man. It's I'm super glad that they brought back Fujin for.
I don't even
for
consider
MK.
Takeda a combat kid. That's how much like respect I give that character.
Interesting.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't bring it back on.
What's that?
But Cetrion for me is a character I would never like to see again.
Yeah,
Not just
I
playstyle
agree.
wise. The playstyle is cancer. I get that, but I'll exclude that. The character itself just did not belong in the story at all.
Because she's like,
No.
oh, boom,
Central.
She got
Shinnok's
bodied
sister.
twice, and we never heard from her again. That was it. And the next thing you know, people are basically ready to break the game on top of the playstyle. It's like, come on, man, we don't need this. Cetrion feels like an Injustice character, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because
that's
she's
what
like,
it
oh
totally
shit,
is.
Shinnok's sister. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It didn't make sense
Shinnok's
to me.
sister.
But I mean, then
Story.
again, people liked Shinnok. You know what I mean? So.
But it's not
Yeah,
Shinnok.
but Shinnok had like an archetype, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
True.
give me
I
corrupted
understood.
Shinnok. Oh man.
What do you say about corrupted?
I said give me corrupted Shinnok and Cetrion can stay, because that bitch would not go heads up with corrupted Shinnok.
Yeah,
Am I-
I think my biggest quirk about the two, you know, siblings there is that Shinnok was interesting because obviously his big thing was necromancy. So obviously anything related to his toolkit was like, it was all dark magic, anything of that sort. So it kind of made sense. And you can kind of make the argument with Cetrion if you really want to relate everything to life. But like, come on, every single element, and she can,
Yeah.
and like for whatever reason, it's a fatality. So I'm gonna consider it this. She can turn the size of the earth,
Right,
and
right.
like what's happening, like with this character. It
like if
really
they stuck
does
to a
feel
certain
like
theme more. Yeah.
yeah, there's no theme. It's just they kind of just gave her everything, and like she's more of a god than Shinnok is. You know?
Right. And
I'm gonna get some water. Give me a second.
and people are saying like they don't want Chronica back. Chronica's like 2% of this game. Like
Agreed.
I don't even really consider Chronica the you play her once a game and then you never hear from her again. Like so I don't know. I'll take
Chronica to me is-
terrible boss.
Yeah, not a
Chronica
good boss
is
at all. But I'm not saying I just don't think she was a distraction.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. Chronica. I thought Chronica would have been interesting as an actual character. She was obviously if she had been balanced and everything, but as a playable character, I would have been interested to see what type of playstyle she would have been.
Oh, she would have been broke from day one, man. They would have been.
Oh yeah.
And they
yeah.
Chronica mains, bro,
Yeah.
they would be asking for buffs. It'd be problems.
Have you guys seen the gameplay, like the PC modders that go in and they try and create combos with her?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I see that. Yeah,
Have you guys seen that? Her toolkit, like, it's obviously like very Cetrion-esque because you know she's a god or above that, whatever it is. So they don't want to give her like
Right.
normal punches. But man, like some of those specials are like that she's doing are really fucking cool.
Yeah, they're swaggy.
I'm
They
saying
could've- they could've done a lot
maybe
with
one day they could evolve and change it in the future because there was a time when Shao Kahn was a super OP boss fight.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
he was
And now
like
he's
at that
bottom
time.
one.
Now, yeah,
Then he was the
now he's
worst
an
character
actual.
in the game.
Yeah, I mean I think I'd say he's pretty decent, but
He's
you
decent
know,
now, but he was
he's
for 90% of the game's lifespan. He was
yeah,
not
yeah.
good.
It took some time for him to get. I mean, Kotal Khan early on too. Kotal Khan was considered trash for a long ass time up until he got a lot of buffs. But in terms of what character I would want to see, I mean, MK's been doing MK's always doing this though. Like they've even way back, that far back I can remember, they've always done this. Like Mortal Kombat 2 didn't have Kano and it didn't have Sonya.
Right.
So you know, you go back to and even then, back then, people were like, "Oh, where the fuck is Kano and Sonya at, man? What the fuck?" And you know, obviously story wise, they were like imprisoned and all that. And then MK3 came along, and MK3 missed out on my two favorite characters back then. It was Scorpion and Raiden.
Yeah, they didn't put
And
Scorpion
MK3
in that one. That was really weird.
Yeah, they got huge backlash because they didn't have Scorpion and no Raiden. And I was like, what
So they
the
made
fuck?
Ultimate.
Obviously,
Or well, in the trilogy.
Ultimate came along, and yeah, Ultimate MK3 came along, and then Trilogy came out later on as a console release. But yeah, Ultimate brought back Scorpion and the Scorpion stage, and you know, so yeah, they're always guilty of doing this. Even way back in the day, they'll go ahead and boldly remove a certain character that's like a fan favorite. Bring in some other new guy. Cabal, you know, Cabal was new to the scene. Nobody knew Cabal up until MK3. Striker, and now they're pretty much staples of the franchise.
That leads to my next question. Let me flip that, basically.
Go ahead.
And before you get to that,
go
I
ahead.
just want to say that I have to pop out here. But I
All
appreciate
right.
you guys letting me talk for a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate it, C's.
Good
Have a good
night,
one.
tournament.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Later, man.
Tell
Yeah,
GameStop we
bro.
said hi.
Is my mic better?
Yeah, it sounds a
Yes.
little better.
A little bit.
Okay, all right, cool. Aaron Black.
Yeah, but what character? What character do you feel like from MKX and 11 should be moving forward? That this character has kind of paid their dues. It's a good character. We should just keep moving forward, accept them kind of on the Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage, Liu Kang level.
And I didn't catch that. I'm sorry. Is this your next question, or is this?
Next question, yeah.
Yeah, this is the next question.
Could you say that again? Maybe I didn't hear it correctly.
Basically, which character should return from MKX and that's been MKX
okay.
and 11 that you feel has paid their dues, and it should be seen as like a respectable level, such as Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage, Jax, those type of characters.
Honestly, I really think that Kano shouldn't leave again. I think that he should just keep coming back every time. I don't see any reason why
Kano's
not.
been in all three.
Yeah.
He's been in all three releases, MK9, X, and
He
11.
did get
I
killed in
believe.
this one, though.
Yeah, but we got time
Yeah.
travel, man. Nobody's dead.
True.
Yeah,
Plus,
nobody's
I think
dead.
they're restarting this. I think they're restarting this whatever thing. So, yeah, maybe like his son. You know, if he has like a son or like a daughter, that'd be
Kane?
pretty
There you go.
good.
I think a character I would like to see. Honestly, I really liked Kenshi. I thought he was a pretty dope character.
Kenshi's awesome. Yeah.
Kenshi's dope. I again back to Takeda. I really like Takeda. Who else? I kind of wanted to see. I knew there was rumors about Havoc, but I did like him in Deception, so I would like to see him. Like literally, like someone, because they talk almost little to none about the Chaos Realm in these new ones. I think they did one time in one of the end scenes, or a couple times in the end scenes.
Oh, Shang Tsung brought it up, yeah.
Yeah, so like I think that'd be cool to kind of shed light on some of those more obscure realms, and have let them have a hand at actually trying to be the big dogs, kind of like how Outworld is. You know what I mean? I think that'd be cool.
So you're thinking
That'd
like
be cool,
as far as story mode goes, just expansion on more of the Mortal Kombat universe.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and
I agree. That would be really cool because I want to know about like Order Realm and all those other ones. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
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 A question I did want to get to, if nobody else had anything to add to that,
Right, Joe.
and Boraicho, yeah.
Garrus, I really like Garrus and Kotal Khan.
Yeah,
Like,
if
just
C's were
their
here,
character-
I'm 99% sure he would say Garrus, but
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, just as characters, I love their design and their background story and how they were made. Like like all balancing issues aside, all that. Like just character wise, I love their their backstory.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Going around the room telling who we love?
Oh my gosh. Let's try and be in the moment
When
there,
you say
Pon,
it like
please.
that,
Look, I just came back from making ramen and getting a drink.
Oh, okay.
One-eyed Boojin.
One-eyed Boojin. Just like who would like you I'm sorry, who you would like to see coming in the future? Like from
Fujin, definitely.
okay. All right,
Um,
Boojin, definitely.
and a better Scarlet.
A better Scarlet. Yeah, I mean Scarlet would be dope to keep around too, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Coach? Who would you like to see besides, I mean, Takeda or
Aaron
Kenshi?
Black, just not with the same games play. I really do like that character. I just feel like his gameplay in this was complete ass. His gameplay in the last one, though, for me, is redeeming. So I'd like to see him again, just reworked. Make him more of like a saloon bar fighter rather than this back to slide fucking. Yeah,
Right.
make him less
slide,
cheesy.
bro.
Yeah, make him less cheesy and make him like. Make this dude like, I don't know, just make him rough and ruggedy and make his combos make no fucking sense. Like this is a dude just fighting with like a tequila bottle or some shit. Like that's kind of honestly what I look like when you see like a bar fighter. That's what he is.
You know
He's
who?
I think you accidentally said Aaron Black. It's what it sounded like.
It is no, 100%.
You mean you said that on purpose?
That is the character that got
No,
me back
honestly,
into
after you
Mortal
said
Kombat.
that, I totally agree. Actually, that would be really cool to see somebody like fight with like a. Well, I mean, then wouldn't it just be Kano?
Yeah, that's what
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
basically what Aaron Black is.
just a cowboy.
He's like,
I think
he's basically make him Sam Elliott from Roadhouse.
That would be.
He said Sam Elliott.
I think I think that's funny that you say that because there's a character almost exactly like the way you like described him from Tekken. His name's Miguel. He's from Spain and he's
Miguel,
like,
yeah, I know Tech. I know,
yeah,
I know.
so there you go.
That
Yeah,
fool lives across the
that-
street.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Primo Miguel. He likes to fight against the the Mishimas and whatnot. You know, no big deal. But I think it would be pretty funny to see something like that. You know, just someone that's kind of, I guess, a troll in a sense, but he's got these crazy bottles that he throws at you, like Birdie or something like that from Street Fighter. Or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty funny. Schluddy, who would you like to see in the future?
No, I said Braicho.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Sorry. You just kind of just seemed to.
Yeah,
You kind of
you'd
just.
love to see him.
You just farted. It was pretty hilarious though in Deadly Alliance. I couldn't get enough of it. I was just like laughing my ass off. And every time you switch like the stance or whatever, I don't know if you guys remember that. Like he would fart and shit. Like I thought that was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
few characters I think like would be good in like the next game. Like I wasn't a big fan of MKX, but the characters are pretty cool. So like Braicho, Tanya. I
Oh,
feel
yeah,
like
Tanya.
Tanya and the
Tanya's a good one.
Melina like little thing would be pretty cool.
Quan
Even though I don't
Chi.
really like Melina. Yeah, Quan Chi. Trimmer actually, that'd be a cool character to see in the next game.
Tremor,
Uh,
yeah,
Just
Tremor would
make
be a
him
good
less
one.
OP though.
Yeah, I do agree with Tremor though. Definitely, I think he's a cool character, and he was pretty much fan made, or he was just like a no. He was like a character that was like in
He
special
was
forces,
fan made.
and then he was fan made. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Just like give him a story. I feel like it'd be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
He has a movie with Kevin Bacon, bro.
God
Oh
damn
my
it.
gosh.
He was a worm, yeah.
Yes.
The fucking grab boy.
That's fucking awesome. Anybody else want to chime in on that before I go with the next question?
No, I think that's pretty good.
All right, I know this podcast is pretty much going over whatever time limit I thought would be, but fuck it, this is what we do. We're the West Side.
Man.
This is the West Side Button Masters. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
fuck
this is
a
what we
time
do.
limit.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
So Amoeba did ask, what's your most memorable win or loss, or if you want to talk about both? You guys have any of these
Ooh.
memorable wins or losses?
I would love to go first. The first time I beat Cease. That was the greatest. That was the greatest moment of my life. I was happy. I went into my fucking fridge. I got a beer. I didn't drink it, but I got a beer.
Okay.
Dude, it's like I beat Sonic Fox, man. That was the greatest accomplishment. Like, do you not know how hard it is? I don't give a fuck if he wasn't playing Gears. That shit was hard.
True.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Chris Moon.
Coach, did you want to chime in on that?
I got one win over Averick that kind of made my day, and I didn't win the set, but I took one win off of him, and he shrugged it off and beat me right after. But I was extremely happy about that.
Hell
As
yeah.
far as set win, I don't know. I don't compete too often, so just whoever I beat on casuals until they pick their main, I guess.
Hell yeah. Pond?
Alright, so my worst loss was I played about 8 games back to back with Ninja Killer, and out of those 8 games, I got 1 round off of him,
Wow. That's not bad.
and I'm still proud of that. But dude's a fucking robot.
Yeah.
And my most memorable win would be, I think it would have to be when I took. Okay, so I have 2 of them on the same level. One was the first time I beat Cease, just like other people have said. I know, but because Cease is like, he's a milestone. He's kind of a milestone for us. I feel like, because once you beat Cease, it's kind of just like, oh, nice, I'm
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
Cease is tough, man.
Well,
Yeah.
you gotta. After, I feel like if you can beat Cease consistently, which I don't know if any of us have, maybe, but I
No,
haven't.
not consistently, but I take them and I get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Unshaven?
the other one was I took
Oh,
2
go ahead. I'm
games
sorry.
off.
Pond.
Oh, my bad. I took 2 games off Shenless using Scarlet because I
Nice.
felt it would be disrespectful to use Fujin against them. So
Fujin
Nice.
there, yeah.
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
that was nice.
Hell yeah. Unshaven, did you want to talk about maybe one of your favorite wins, losses, or
Yeah.
well, not favorite loss, but
I had I had 2 specific incidents that were really satisfying fights, and
Beat Nito
one of them
Tiger.
was who?
Does anybody remember Nito Tiger?
Nito Tiger?
He was like a meme from MKX. He's got like a whole documentary on him. But
No.
probably not important right now. Go ahead though.
Uh-huh.
Nito Tiger. Go ahead. Did you want to talk about Nito Tiger?
No, definitely not. Finish your story.
Oh,
I
okay,
was just trying
okay.
to make a little joke. It's not funny, but go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Oh, I didn't know who that was, but sounds interesting. It sounds interesting though. I'm gonna check them out now. But yeah, those 2 specific incidents that one of them it wasn't really against a pro player, but it was really satisfying just to fucking make him lose, and it was against low tier God. I played him.
really?
I
played
saw
him,
that.
Fuck him.
Yeah, it's still on video somewhere in the YouTubes somewhere out there, but
Somewhere.
I think somebody clipped it just in a compilation of him getting his ass kicked.
Oh, you were one of them?
Yeah, I was in there one of them. Yeah, it was like in 2019 still, and
You were
I bumped
using
into him
Raijin.
just on Combat League. I was using Raijin. Yeah, that's back when Raijin had like no launcher. He had like just his normals. That's it. And we were playing, and then I was being like super nice to him, super respectful, because I figured like, well, you talk shit, but hey man, let's have a good game. I didn't even know he was streaming. I was just like, all right, maybe I just bumped into him with her randomly.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, I saw the video feed, and that it was he played me. He was using Frost, and he beat me on the first set, and then we ran the second set, and I kind of picked up on his playstyle after the first set, and he started getting really frustrated. So pretty much, and I was only like just barely halfway decent at that time, learning with Raiden, but I guess my style was different enough to catch him off guard, and he kind of pissed him off. So he started talking shit, kind of like, oh, you get him, motherfucker, you ain't shit, motherfucker. And then like once he got to the second set, he just got kind of mollywopped, and he was just like raging, like, how am I losing to this garbage ass motherfucker? He ain't even got no combos. What is it? He's gonna fucking you ain't got to do shit. And so he got to the point where he was just like going nuts. And it was hilarious because I was telling him like, hey man, great fight, man. If you want a rematch, I mean, hell. And the people in the chat were like trolling him, going like, hey man, this motherfucker's mad nice. What the fuck? So I thought that was really fun and satisfying. And
That's hilarious, honestly. I remember that.
yeah.
What about you, Dumper?
I think I can't really think of like times that are like the most memorable wins. I think like probably like pop
Yeah, you
offs.
don't get very many memorable wins.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think just anytime I like win on stream, I feel pretty cool about it. Anytime I lose on stream, I kind of feel like a fucking dunce. Um, I think you know
Because
what?
people are watching.
SJ, when I beat SJ like 2 times in a row somehow, um, the other day, and then when he finally got me back, I thought it was hilarious. I was actually just in fucking SJ's head for some weird reason, and even Schluddy was telling me I'm playing like a god right now. Um, but you know, honestly, I don't really have the most memorable wins that I can think of as of right now. I was honestly trying to think about like the most memorable wins,
Or
but like
memorable
I said,
moments.
or memorable moments. Honestly, a lot of the moments that I post like on my YouTube, are probably like the most memorable things. Because I want them to be up there forever because I think they're hilarious, or they're just I think it just actually just having fun with the game and not just like fucking trying to be Mr. Serious here and shit like that, you know.
Facts.
So I think just trying to find, I guess the again like the fun aspect of it is like just like my most memorable and like favorite part of it, and like being able to, I mean, with the homies, of course I don't talk shit to people I don't know. I really don't. I don't like doing that.
I used to, man. That used to be like a huge problem of mine. I used to get so mad at the game.
Yeah, I used to be so pissed
Dang,
too.
bro.
But I mean, I love talking shit to the homies because I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's all love, and you know, I never mean anything that I talk shit
Every time
about.
you talk shit, you say I'm sorry at the end.
I know exactly. So
Yeah,
I'm
Thumper's
sorry.
like super nice, bro.
I do my best, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Well, I live in Hawaii, you know, so every time I even win with first of all, winning with Braga,
Oh my gosh, why?
What the fuck?
Why?
first of all, winning with
There was a
Baraka
silence, so I had to
itself.
fill
Okay, so winning with Baraka itself, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, that like really makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because he's such a bottom one character. Don't even try and disagree with me, or else you hate Jesus.
Yeah.
So you know, so any and even playing in like a really bad pink, like I don't find good pink. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like I said, I'm in Hawaii, so it's really hard. You know, but
Yeah.
I played like one time somebody like that was like actually like really good. You know, the ping was like 36 or something like that, really low. And I was like, oh my god, it's the first time I've ever seen anything like this. And you know, and I was fighting them just playing like a regular casual match. You know, so we just did like a first to three, and like the second round, like you know, saying like the second match, like I totally just demolished them. You know, like I felt pretty good
Thumper,
about
you
it,
are
but
6 subs
they were
away
not
from
happy at all.
800.
You know, they were not happy at all. So that kind of sucked. But no,
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Punk.
in general, like I enjoyed that. That was probably my most memorable win, though. Besides that, though, I mean, like, Exit has all the freaking clips on his channel. So,
Well, I have a good handful of the clips too. Whenever you're
yeah,
popping off.
exactly, and Dumper. So I mean,
And those are the best pop-offs, by the way. If you guys have not seen Sid's pop-offs, I literally on my, you can go through my videos and go probably like, I don't want to say like the first videos, but like fairly close. But anything that says Sid's pop-offs or legendary pop-offs, those are all Sid's, by the way. Check those out. Those are probably the most hilarious things I've ever posted. But yeah, oh my gosh, there's just check them out. That's all I gotta say. Um, so the next question Ray had asked was, what's the most underplayed character?
Probably Devora.
I want to say Collector.
Rambo.
Devora and Rambo.
No, there's a lot of collector players out there.
You think so?
Other than
I don't.
Honeybee, who's making that character work?
The Honeybee. Yeah, you know what? You might be right about Devora. I really don't see a whole lot of Devoras.
No, every other character is played. I would say Devora and Baraka. It used to be Shang, I would say, for a while until Customs, or until Aftermath, rather.
Right.
Yeah, Baraka used to have a lot of players.
Yeah, in the early
I don't
games,
see a lot of
Baraka
Baraka
was good.
players.
Yeah.
I see
I
a
would say
few
yeah,
Baraka
Devora's
players.
definitely. There's very few Devoras out there.
Mm-hmm.
dedicated Devoras. There's not too many dedicated Rambos either.
Yeah, besides
But the,
Exit and Dylan
Rambo's
Lloyd,
a meme
maybe.
character in my opinion.
A meme
yeah.
character? How so?
Yo.
I don't know. Nobody's playing fucking.
I was
Nobody's
just
playing
kind of
Rambo seriously. Yeah, nobody's playing Rambo seriously except for like Dylan Lloyd and Rothor.
Yeah, I just got this mid projectile.
Yo. Hey, I'm on a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah, I get to
Yeah,
fight ninjas and stuff,
Yeah. Hey, the Galactic Cowboy.
Yo, vape coach.
Yo.
Upper 42, how you doing?
Hey, yo, yeah. I'm not a scientist, but I'm thinking he probably vapes and he's a coach.
Yeah, he's a Shake Soon player. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Hey, CSM is fucking good. Alright, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it. We're going to go on forever
Much
with
love
that
to
bullshit.
Rambo.
Yes, much love to Rambo and, of course, Sylvester Stallone.
That's right.
Sid, who's your most underrated or underplayed character that you think?
My most underplayed. Yeah, definitely.
Who do you think is the most
Jay.
underplayed? Oh,
Oh,
no. The most underplayed
Not his
character,
most
like.
underplayed, dude.
Oh, okay.
Like, who do you think?
The most underplayed.
Yes.
I don't see a lot of Baracas, bro. And I'm happy. I'm kind of happy about it. You know, I honestly see more Rambo than I do Baracas.
Because you get to keep it all to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm low-key like happy about it because I mean, screw you. You don't know the tech. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm just gonna use my plus range.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, definitely. Which I think is kind of silly because Exit and I were arguing about it because he's like a really good like beginner character because his combos are some like his basic combos are really easy, and then like when you want to go like advanced, then more advanced to do a lot more damage with his combos, then it gets a little more tougher in the execution timing and all that. Thumper, you know about that, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like it's just
right.
I think he's got really good fundamentals and he's such a solid character. You know, it's just everybody else on the roster just can do so much more, you know what I'm saying, than he can. So it's just like, well, you know what I'm saying. I could play Baraka or I could just play anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
Shleddy, who do you think the most underplayed character is?
I'm gonna answer this and I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm tired as fuck. Shiva. There's like one Shiva player out there, and that's Bag of Salt, right? That's his name, Coach.
Yeah.
There's like one Shiva represented, like ever since like she got like the stomp nerf, nobody plays her, and she's a decent character in my opinion because she does have mix. Like you're either guessing between low overhead, or if you guess right on the overhead and go for the low, there's a command grab mix too. Like she's all mixed like as of right now, and she has good zoning tools, and she's just like she's a decent character. I'm not gonna say she's the best of the best, but I mean she is a decent character at the end of the day, and there's like nobody playing her like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never played Shiva.
Yeah, she's boring. But no, I agree with that though. You don't after that patch or the hot fix or whatever. Like, there's almost little to no Shivas besides this one I'm looking at right now that Wolfie's playing, of course, in his combat card.
I'm talking about like in a competitive standpoint.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, okay.
Well, I think
standpoint,
that showed everybody who was the real Shiva fan and who's not. You know what I mean? Because then when Shiva was ridiculous with that fucking stomp, you saw all kinds of fucking people just
the Titanium
abusing the
Tigers
shit
Well,
out
they
of
also
it.
nerfed the Dragon Stance too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
it
that.
doesn't like jail off like some strings, like your forward one, for example.
Yeah.
You can fuck out of that. But anyways, I am gonna go to bed. I'm fucking tired as shit. Good night to all
Nighty
you.
night.
Nice,
Thank
buddy.
you, Coach, for
Good to see
coming
the
through.
third junior.
Dog.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Are you running like a tournament like this weekend, like Sunday or some shit?
Yeah, I'll have more details about it. Probably Friday.
Because I'll sign up for that. Because
Cool.
I won't be going to work or anything. But good night to the chat and everything. Hopefully Exit comes back. Hopefully he's alright. But yeah, good night, y'all.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Um, and that's all the questions for me, unless anybody else has any more input or any questions.
Are you?
Are you the baby? There's there's one thing that I think that the MK community should really strive to do
Okay.
as a whole, and I think it benefits everybody for them to do it, is to always stay open-minded to all variations. And
Okay.
that goes for a lot of times people get too caught up in looking at what's the meta, what's not the meta, like what
Yeah.
are the top pros using, and there's nothing else that's viable if they don't use it. I don't believe in that. I believe in always staying open-minded to do your work, put in work, lab it up, and then try to figure out how to use the lesser known variations. Because there's great satisfaction to that, and I think it always opens things up for the community because it brings variation to the scene in terms of seeing different matchups and different challenges. Too many times I've seen sometimes that people fall too much into the one expert will say only this one's viable, only do this because the other ones suck, and then people just live by that and they don't explore. So I do think
Right.
it's always good to be open-minded as possible to really explore the variations from all characters, all the characters, because I think all of them have a certain variation of theirs that'll be underrated and it's not used enough.
I agree.
I agree with that.
That being said, guys, I got to get ready for work, so I want to thank you all for having me on this podcast. Jumper, Slutty, you guys, and I hope to see you guys competing soon, and we'll have more topics to talk about next week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, again, thank you, Coach. We appreciate it big time. And hope you have a good
Whenever
night.
you let people from Hawaii join your tournaments, dude, let me know.
Absolutely. But other than that, y'all, I'll catch you later. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you later.
All right, sounds
Have a
good,
good
Coach.
one.
Thank you again,
For
man.
sure, man.
Later. Again, everyone, that was Babe Coach. You can usually catch him on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I'm not mistaken. I know this week was a little different. He had what? I think Wednesdays, and I think he's gonna do tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And then he usually has stuff on Sundays. So check him out on Twitch. He's probably one of the best to do it on Twitch, I think, in my opinion. I'm talking about production-wise and just literally talking to everybody and reaching out. So, anything else, fellas, before we close out?
No. Well, I mean, everybody, stay free.
Hey, do you want to sing the GG Stay Free song? Okay, no, not today.
Okay. And Shaven, hey, you got anything else?
Nah, man, just support support the MK YouTubers out there and just show love to the ones that support the tourney scene. I know.
Hi, guys.
Oh, hey.
Hi,
Hello.
Sid's wife. Or I'm sorry, Anna.
Hi. Hi. All
Welcome
right,
to the podcast.
you guys closing up?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. You guys ready to sing it?
No, lead us into the words, please.
Okay. GG, stay free. Stay free.
Dang.
And that's it?
Or you can continue singing it, you know, like.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's funny.
That's enough out of you.
That's enough out of you. Everybody, Sid's wife, the wifey material, she'll pop up every now and then in the comment section.
There you go.
Sid, anything did you want to add?
Nah, yeah. Don't do anything illegal or else I'll snitch.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I will stream tonight. Because I gotta finish up the 10 days of KL.
Hooray!
This will be the last day, because I need to get that Baraka boy skin. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully, I'll see you in Combat League, motherfucker.
Yeah. So you'll see me free up the pond in Combat League real quick.
Oh.
No, just kidding.
Oh shit.
But
Steve
no,
said right now,
right,
5 cents.
right the fuck now.
5 cents.
But I appreciate everyone for coming through. All the questions. Of course, all of our co-hosts that joined and left, and we hope that exit's all good in the hood, literally. Um, and I mean, my boy
Yes,
lives in the
sir.
hood. We gotta give him
That's
more
right.
support.
Out in the barrio.
Yes. So much love, everyone. I will catch you guys soon on the stream. So take care.
Wait, before you go, I want to add something.
Oh, is that the baby? Okay, go ahead.
Stay underdog, and don't forget, I love you.
Oh my god. Oh shit.